Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of What the Haul. Normally what we do is two things. First we do on my mind and then on my face, but this week's episode is a roundup of new launches for the month of February, the same like we did last month. So this is going to be a brief episode. As it is February, it is Black History Month. So I'm going to start with the new launches first, and then I'm going to speak to a couple of brands that I think if you want to support Black owned businesses, you may want to dive into these. So I have some things to recommend. So, first thing that came up on my radar, and I think this is appropriate as we're kind of at the tail end of winter, and maybe, you've had some skin changes, maybe you've run out of some product, and you're in the market for a new moisturizer. Well, Clarins has come out with an updated version of their Hydra-Essentiel or Hydra-Essentiel. I don't know how you pronounce it in French, but it's their hydrating range. There's 5 textures. I'm a big proponent of Clarins. I think it's a foolproof brand. The only downside is because they use a lot of botanical ingredients. If you have an aversion to fragrance or like botanical ingredients, it may not speak to you. I like Clarins because it's easy to get your hands on. It's in every beauty hall and every big department store. If you're traveling, you can find it in duty frees. And the price points, they're not cheap, but they are reasonably accessible, especially when it comes to the Hydra range, because this is strictly moisture, nothing else. And so you can partner it with different products. Like I'm a big proponent of the double serum. Every huge legacy brand has a one size fits all serum. At Lancome, they have Genifique. Lauder's been doing night repair for decades. And at Clarins, they have the double serum, which I think is the best of the best when it comes to the one size fits all serums. And so with this Hydra series, two things that really stand out. I've used the original Silky Cream, which is the one for normal to dry skin, and this comes in 2 sizes. And they have this new product, which is the matte gel, which is really interesting going into spring, possibly into summer. This could be really useful. It's 75 mils, so that means it's bigger than some masks that I've purchased. It's a huge volume, and this is supposed to be hydrating and oil control. So I think if you live in a humid climate or you have a very oily skin but you need the moisture, this is really compelling, and I think it's good value for the price and the volume that you're getting. But overall, this is a real winner, and it's a really strong range. Without having actually experienced the products, because this week's episode I don't have many samples to go off of. They've changed the name, and it says HA2, so I'm guessing this is some form of elevated hyaluronic. So I'm sure if you're a longtime user of these products, there probably isn't going to be a noticeable difference. They've revamped it, and so this might be something to look into. So we'll put that to one side. The next thing that I thought was really interesting is from It Cosmetics, which is a brand that I don't typically engage with because they're known for their CC creams. Their CC creams are their bread and butter and put them on the map. And a couple years ago, they were purchased by L'Oreal. And I believe when they were taken over or taken into the L'Oreal umbrella, they were valued at $1 billion just off the strength of those CC creams. And of course, as things have progressed, the brand has expanded and they have a full range of skincare products. And this is new and was really exciting to me is this Confidence in Your Beauty Sleep Brightening Serum. So they currently have a vitamin C serum and they want you using that one in the morning. And this is supposed to be the nighttime treatment. Now, what's interesting here is the ingredients are 12% vitamin C, 1.5 ferulic, and 0.5% polydatin, which is a form of resveratrol, which is another really hardworking antioxidant ingredient. It says it's waterless, and it just looks like your standard gel serum. Probably has a very fresh texture, and it's going to be all the anti-aging and brightening that you could want in a product, right? When I saw this ingredient list, I immediately thought of Topicals, which is another L'Oreal brand, and their CE ferulic, which is similar, but not the same. So this CE ferulic has 15% vitamin C, 1% vitamin E, and 0.5% of ferulic acid. So where SkinCeuticals has a copious amount of serums for any number of concerns, this is their hero product. And this new serum from It Cosmetics looks very similar. So I think if you are looking for a new antioxidant, definitely look into this. This looks more intriguing to me than their other vitamin C product. And where the SkinCeuticals goes for $208, this one is going for $88 Canadian. And at all the L'Oreal brands, anytime there's a long weekend, there's always a really good offer. If you buy from their DTC website, you might get 20 or 30% off. You don't have to hold out for that twice a year sale at Sephora. So definitely one to consider. And then lastly, the other thing that really stood out to me was as a consequence of the success of The Ordinary. And you remember The Ordinary, it's that real budget-friendly skincare brand that does single ingredient products. So they have a hyaluronic, they have a retinol, they have a this and a that. But because that brand really, shifted the market, and I think encouraged a lot of brands to really hone in on these ingredients that 10 or 15 years ago, when I was working in the space, we didn't have the same offering, and the customers didn't have the same level of knowledge as what they do now. So lots of brands are really tapping into this market that The Ordinary really leaned into. So first, what stood out to me in the last month was Dermalogica came out with a new retinol serum, and there isn't a Dermalogica product that I've met that I didn't like. And so I wanted to talk about that. But then as I was rummaging through some of my stuff, I found a sample of a KIEHL'S retinol product. They have a retinol serum that they launched a while ago. It's called Microdose Serum. So again, another really classic, long-standing brand dabbling in the retinol space. And then when I went onto the KIEHL'S website, what was more interesting, and then speaks to this trend of following what The Ordinary started, KIEHL'S has come out with a series of single ingredient serums. They're called ultra pure high potency serums. There's 3 versions. One is a 1.5% hyaluronic for hydration. Then you have 5% niacinamide or B3, which is for oil control, acne, that sort of thing. And then lastly, there is a 9.8% glycolic, which is your one-stop shop for all anti-aging, pigmentation, acne, all the things, right? So if you are a KIEHL'S customer and you have, the desire to get on board with these single ingredient products, definitely something to consider. I've tried lots of KIEHL'S products, more of their older formulations. Like I'm really big fan of their Hydra Plumping Retexturizing Serum and their Powerful Strength Line Reducing Concentrate. In the old version, they revamped it a while ago, and I tried that. I don't like the current iteration, but the original I thought was a real extraordinary product. So KIEHL'S has some really good offerings. And again, it's a L'Oreal brand, so keep your eyes open. They may have offers on a long weekend, and they have their own reward scheme if you are drawn to them as well. So those were the 3 launches this month that I thought were really compelling and you may want to look into further. Now, the next thing that I wanted to bring up was some Black-owned brands. The first one is one that I didn't buy, but I've had on my wish list on various websites, is called Epara. It's created by a lady who is Nigerian British. I don't want to butcher her name. I'm sorry to this lady, but yeah, she's got a very strong CV, studied accounting at Oxford, and she's come up with this range. And Ipara means to cocoon oneself. I'm going to post images from the Vogue article from 2019. At first, it was available through Holt Renfrew, and now it's also available at Hudson Bay and all sorts of luxury spaces. When I was looking through their stockists, it's at Flannels and Net-a-Porter in the UK, and then in America, you guys have it at Neiman's and Saks. So this is a luxury brand. It's really for the person who buys Sisley, La Prairie, La Mer, that sort of segment. So the price point can be intimidating, but if you are inclined to, spend $1 on your skincare, this is one to look at. It's got marula and all sorts of African botanicals. The product that I was really eyeing is called the Brightening Night Balm. And in the images, it says very clearly that it's a balm, and it comes with this beautiful little metallic spatula. It's looking very much like the products that I get from Darphin in Sicily. But because it's a balm, I know good and damn well this is the type of thing that it's going to last forever. In the near future, when I do run out, this is absolutely something on the top of my list that I want to get into. It looks really exciting, and it says it's deeply moisturizing and it's for pigmentation. So sign me the up. The next thing, and that I've just started using, is from a brand called Topicals skincare. So this is founded by two women. They're both doctors. I can't remember what specialty they have, but one is called Claudia Tang, and the other lady is Olamide Olowe. This brand has investors such as Isore, Yvonne Orji, and the CEO of Warby Parker and Allbirds. So there's a lot of people putting their money where their mouths are and really supporting this brand. And so what they're known for is this product that's called Faded. I think that's the first launch, and it's a serum that is for hyperpigmentation, and it's really good value. It's 50 mils, and I think it was like about $40-50 Canadian, so not excessive. And it has really strong ingredients in it. So the things that they call out on their website: Centella asiatica, or sometimes you'll see it shortened as Cica on a lot of products. There's kojic, there's melatonin. I don't know what melatonin is doing. Azelaic, which is a real good ingredient, and B5. It's a strange serum. It's very milky. It almost feels like it's going to be fine on its own, but you can definitely layer a moisturizer on top of it. My friend who I recorded my first episode with is also using this. She told me that she's loving it. But where I first bought into this brand was with their body spray. So they have a Faded body mist. More so than just on my face, I'm also concerned with the pigmentation that's on my arms, my legs, my back, etc. And this is a really novel product. There has been an uptick in really high performance body products recently, and this, it really spoke to me. The only downside with these products is everything smells terrible. We have to be honest, the products are hardworking, but the sensorial element is falling short. But I can get past that because you don't see too many tranexamic and azelaic based body products at this price point. In this packaging, it's a really novel product. I don't like using this mist on its own. I find that it's a bit sticky when you massage it, and it has like this really strange texture. You'll see it in the TikTok. On its own, when you're massaging it, it's almost like conditioner. It's very strange. What I'll do is I'll scoop up some of my body cream and I'll spray it into my palms, mix it together, and then just sweep it as needed. So it's a real, haphazard way of applying the product, but I love it. I think using it this way, it neutralizes the fragrance, and I don't see any downside in mixing and versus layering, doing the serum and then putting the cream on top. That's just too much faff. It's already bad enough that I'm using two products at once, but summertime is coming up. Arms and legs are going to be out, shorts, t-shirts, all of that in the next few months. So in the meantime, this is my second bottle of this body cream. The first one, I couldn't get past the scent, and it went off, so I threw it out. But I'm back on it. It's wintertime, and I'm comfortable layering lots of things right now. So it's a real strong product. And if you are concerned with, uneven elbows and knees and all that good stuff, definitely something to look into. Highly recommend this. And the whole range, if you have pigmentation, definitely get into it. And then lastly, the other Black-owned brand that I really think is totally outstanding, really impressive, is BeautyStat. So BeautyStat was founded by a gentleman called Ron Robinson. This is another one of those brands that piqued my interest during quarantine times. And so the gentleman who founded it, he's a cosmetic chemist, and he worked for Estee Lauder companies and some other big brands. I'd be curious to know what he's formulated in the past. The brand started out with one SKU, as is the case with a lot of brands, which is this Universal C skin refiner. And this is amazing. I love this stuff. Love it, love it, love it. What's unique about this is that it's a waterless vitamin C serum. So circling back to KIEHL'S, where I mentioned the high potency vitamin C serum, This is similar to the old formulation where it was a very dry silicone. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't, and that's fine. But this is reminiscent of that. When I was in my 20s, this sort of product where it's very silicone-y and velvety used to scare me. But now as I've gotten older, I'm in my late 30s now, my skin is drier, I have more things that I'm trying to mitigate. This is the sort of product that really appeals to me. It has that velvety texture. It absorbs really easily. You can layer a cream on top of it and it works perfectly fine. The only thing is if you're sensitive, you really have to build up to it. It does have a tingle, on the cheeks, around the nose, those really delicate areas. And it's a 20% vitamin C. So it's a very strong product. But if you are concerned about pigmentation and slowing down the signs of aging, get into this. It's available through Revolve and Skin Store. And I'm sure there's lots of other places. So do your Googles, look into this. And then in addition to that, I got the eye cream. And the eye cream, very similar to the facial serum, but this one, it's slightly more creamy and it has like a slight salmony pink color to it. So when you put it on, it immediately like neutralizes some of the shadows around the eyes. It's not a concealer, but it will give you a little cosmetic boost around your eyes. This is reminiscent of the Dermalogica multivitamin Power Firm, which is my favorite eye cream. It's that same sort of idea where it's silicone-y, so it's filling in, but this has illuminating bits to it, so it kind of disguises tiredness and the shadows around your eyes. Great texture, really into this. And where the Ipara products that I mentioned previously, that was for your Cicely Lemaire customer. This BeautyStat product is for the person who buys Dr. Dennis, Dermalogica, SkinCeuticals. It's really for that person. So if you want high tech, high performance, no nonsense sort of products, because all of these have very short ingredient lists, get into this brand. Again, so those are the three Black owned brands that I wanted to call to your attention. So if you believe in Black capitalism, this is something to keep in your radar. Definitely look into this. So yeah, that's the roundup for this month. Thank you for listening. Thank me for speaking, and I will catch you in the next one. Adios.